think we're all here, right?
Wait a minute.
We are.
Maybe it's gonna make us wait. Even though I had asked it. Oh, okay, there we are. We're live now.
All right.
Thank you.
So I would like to call to order the Historic District Commission meeting for Monday, October 9th, 2023. And if you would all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. The Maryland Land Use article empowers Frostburg's Historic District Commission to implement the city's Historic Preservation Overlay District according to the regulations set forth in the Frostburg zoning ordinance. All meetings of this commission are open to the public and conducted in compliance with Maryland's Open Meetings Act. The Frostburg Historic District Commission is charged with the preservation of historic structures and the surroundings within the designated district in order to safeguard the heritage of the city, stabilize and improve property values, strengthen the local economy, and foster civic beauty. We will now do our roll call. Chair Dawn Hine, that is myself. Vice Chair Joseph Hoffman.
Present.
Bill Detterman is not present here this evening. Rob Rapan.
Present?
Maureen Brewer is not with us this evening, and our alternate member, Daniel Feiger, is not with us this evening either. So commissioners, if you would please review the current agenda, and when you are ready, if I could have a motion.
Motion to approve the agenda.
A second?
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Hearing none opposed, the agenda is approved. And the minutes from our previous meeting from Monday, September 11th, 2023. Commissioners, if you would please review, and when you are ready, if I could have a motion.
I'll move that we approve the minutes as presented.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 Hearing none opposed, the minutes are approved. So that brings us to our project presentations. And the first one on the agenda is 28 Ewell Street for window replacement. Carol, if you want to join us up here. I'll sit over here by the wall.
There you go.
So if you would just state your name and then tell us about your project.
Carol Lee Curtis, 28 Ewell Street. Just need to get some drafty windows replaced. You know, it's a 1915 house and it's time for them to go.
And my guess is these are not the original windows.
That's what he said he thought they were. They have the wavy glass.
Do they?
Mm-hmm. Now what you're seeing is they are covered with a,
Oh,
A
what's it
storm
called?
window?
Thank you, storm window.
Okay.
But
so
the windows inside, my guy that's already been over there, he said, these are original. You've got the wavy glass. You're going to keep the windows? I said, yeah. So, they do have the storm windows that catch your fingers when you try to work them.
So they're wood windows on the inside.
Yes.
Sounds like my windows. And you're right, they're drafty.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Curtains move.
well, I wouldn't have known that if you hadn't said that, because they look like replacement windows just because you're seeing the storm windows.
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, so. So are the ones you're gonna replace it with the 4-panel or 6-panel?
No, 2-panel. It's gonna look exactly the same, double
Oh,
hung.
okay, okay.
I'm all about trying to keep things, you know, I've tried to get my house back to its beautiful glory, and I think I've done a good job with it. Had plywood on the front, you know, and
Well, the
Yeah.
difference between that picture and this one, as far as those banisters, look, that,
I
that, I
know.
guess that was
Yeah,
in
the railing.
2013.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It looks 100% better.
And I found those, you know, across the road over at the Mangers. Some, I had to get some Amish to make them, but I knew that it was possibly what was on the house, because there's homes in Frostburg that had those
Mhm.
pilasters or whatever you want to call them, with my trim that's up the top. So I was like, yes, I like it. But anyway, that's off of the windows. I don't know what I could do with the windows besides getting some wood windows, and he said that's going to be massively expensive.
So how many windows total do you
I
need to
think there's
replace?
16 or 17. Can't remember the exact
I think
amount.
it's 15 based on the application. Commissioners, do you have any other questions for Carol?
I don't.
Did we have any public comment?
We did not. We solicited public comment as we always do and did not receive any.
Thank you.
How's that put out there?
Pardon?
How is that put out there?
It goes,
Public comment.
well, we advertise the public meetings on Facebook, on our website, on our public meeting portal, and we encourage the public to either attend or submit public comment if they have any.
I don't do social media, so
It is very rare that we get any public comment.
oh really?
Mhm.
I'd be
Here.
happy to put forward a motion
All right.
if we're ready.
If there aren't any other questions, feel free.
I studied the application and all relevant documents and presentation relevant to this case, and I'm familiar with the property in question. I find the proposed changes are compatible with the neighborhood because there's a general compatibility of exterior design, scale, proportion, arrangement, texture, and materials to be used. Based on these findings, I move to approve the proposal because the use of exterior materials are closely similar in appearance to original materials or significant buildings in the district pursuant to section 4.1.J.1.C and 4.1.J.2.G.
I'll second it.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Hearing none opposed, your project.
Forward home.
Painless.
Forward
You
home.
just have to pay for 'em.
I know.
Thank you, Carol.
Thank you.
May your drafts go away.
That would be nice, wouldn't it? They better. That would be nice.
All right, then that brings us to old business, the Percy Cemetery update.
Yes, at our last meeting, we had a citizen who had requested to speak but then left before the end of the meeting. But he had wanted to speak with the commissioners about the maintenance and upkeep at the Percy Cemetery. A book was published, oh my goodness, the publication date is escaping me, but probably early history of the cemetery and the current, or at that time, current preservation efforts at the cemetery. So I've provided you all with the introduction to that book in your packets, just to read at your leisure. The commissioners had also recommended that staff look into programs that might be able to assist with repairing some of the headstones, some of the maintenance out there. So we did come up with a few organizations who specialize in cemetery preservation. So locally, we've got the Cumberland Cemetery Preservation Organization, who we will be reaching out to for some guidance and possibly even to get some workshops set up. And then there's also the Coalition to Protect Maryland Burial Sites. And that also, we believe, will be a good resource for us. And there is the Trader Foundation, which provides grant funding for cemetery preservation projects. So we are continuing to look into this, and we're trying to figure out how to get some funding to support a program that would help with some preservation and cleanup over at that cemetery. So we just wanted to give you that update.
And could you please remind me who owns or who's in charge of the care for the cemetery?
The Percy Cemetery Commission was formed, and there's, in that document that I provided you with, it gives the whole history of the organization and how it came to be. But it is owned by the Percy Cemetery Commission. That is headed by Mr. Tony Crosby.
Okay.
And I'm not sure who else is on the commission at this time. I wasn't able to find any of their current nonprofit records or anything like that.
Sure.
So.
You know, one of the things that struck me as I read the introduction, which, thank you for sharing it, very interesting. It seems as though this particular cemetery has gone through numerous times when it's fallen into disrepair.
Yes.
And citizens have gotten together with the city and did a fix, went into disrepair. I think it was repeated about maybe 5 times now.
Yes.
It would be, I think it would be good if we could check to see if there is any funding that we could secure to put it into a condition that might restore it a bit to what it was before.
And that is, that's definitely the goal of the research that we've been doing and the outreach we've been making.
Well, thank you for that. All right, next item is new business, administrative approvals that were issued.
Yes. So since our last meeting, we had only, or at the time that the agenda was published, we had only issued one administrative approval. FrostburgFirst, that's our downtown, our Main Street program. They applied for a grant and were awarded a grant to install security cameras in our downtown district. And that was a collaboration between FrostburgFirst and the Frostburg Police Department. So the cameras have now been installed. We worked with Allegheny Computer to determine where the least impactful installation locations would be.
Do they cover either of the parking lots?
Either of the I believe they only face Main Street
Okay.
at this time. I'm not sure if there's a phase 2 for additional cameras or anything like that, but I know that the purpose of this was primarily for Main Street.
Okay.
Are they running now?
Yes.
Good.
Yes. And the police department is who monitors those.
Makes sense.
That's good.
All right. Any other discussion items from the commissioners?
I noticed on Facebook that they're starting construction. Apparently, they've been doing construction on the Coal Miners Memorial down around the
At
depot.
the depot.
That's the first I'd seen just the other day. What is his name? The guy who's
There's a lot of him.
well, who's been involved, he and Barb Armstrong have been involved in, Bill, you, no, there's a guy and he writes the
Oh,
articles all the time. And
yes.
Bucky
Shriver.
Shriver, I think he's the one who posted it on there. And I didn't look at it close enough, and I haven't gone down, so I'll be interested to go down and see how, because it looks like they've done a good bit of work down there so far.
And I think they said this Wednesday that it's going to be closed to bike traffic, like from the the stop,
Yeah.
the trail stop up.
Yes.
They're going to have that closed because of something they're
Oh,
doing.
that little switchback.
The switchback, right?
Okay. Well, they can still come up the hill on that road,
Right.
which is shorter,
Yes.
steeper.
Steeper.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, so whenever that project is finished, I'm sure we'll have a ribbon cutting and I will make sure that everyone on this commission is invited.
Is the depot within the historic district?
Yes.
Yes.
Now, this is like a completely different subject, but I understood that they're talking about taking those stairs, the county's talking about taking the stairs out that lead up to halfway up that hill. And I don't know whether you'd heard anything about that or not.
I know that the stairs are in serious disrepair. I don't think that they would take out the staircase.
Well, that's why I brought it up, because I thought,
Yeah.
they took the seating area out around that.
Yeah.
And
By
I
the
had heard that
depot.
that was going to happen too, and I actually saw it. And we don't have anything to say about whether or not something could be added, but I mean, if I had to vote, I would vote to try to find funding, because if you see what there is to see, you get 200 people on that train. They sit at those picnic tables that we brought up before, and then there are a couple benches and a couple chairs. I bet they can't seat 8 people down there. And it's out in the sun, and you know how lovely it is here sometimes, especially in the fall. So I don't know what we could do, if anything, to encourage some kind of rebuilding of a seating area there, because it was nice. I mean, the benches all around, and it was wide enough that you could stand on the upper level and lean on it or put things on it. So it probably could have been 20, 30 people seated there.
Yeah.
I'm sure some money is some of it, but I mean,
I think that has a lot to do with it. But there is a small group of county and city representatives who get together and kind of plan out how things are going to go, or who's responsible for what. So I certainly can bring that up at our next meeting about adding some kind of additional seating down there, because I agree it was detrimental to take away that much seating. So.
Anything else, commissioners? Any other items for discussion? Any items from our public here this evening?
Yeah, I'm kind of on a fishing expedition. As several of you know me, my wife and I operated the Shoot's Pharmacy for almost 30 years. And when we bought it, we bought all the equipment and everything that's there. It was the fixtures. You've been there, Ron, I'm sure. Were built in Baltimore in 1910. They were installed in Westernport for 5 years, and then they moved up on the streetcars up to Frostburg where they installed. So when I built my house, well, I got kind of pushed into it. I had an employee who was stealing from me, so I remodeled so that I could be in the same room instead of in the back. And at the time we built the house, we made a room large enough and high enough to install all the 1910 fixtures. My wife passed away, my children moved out of town, and I haven't. I approached the Cumberland Museum, Frostburg Museum. They don't have the personnel or the space to install it. And I'm desperately hunting for a place. I would like to preserve it and put it out for the public. Because you guys are history history related. That's why I'm here. I figure I've got a plethora of history there. And in addition, in fact, I was sitting on the couch eating a sandwich and fell asleep. That's why I haven't shaved it. I have absorbed 3 different patent medicine and pharmacies over the years. I've got hundreds of different patent medicines in the original containers and all kinds of pharmacy equipment, medical equipment. When the hospital remodeled, they gave me a whole bunch of stuff. I don't know if you've ever seen an ether mask, and they gave me a whole bunch of stuff, and I've got it on display too. And one other thing, I'm a photographer now. I've got almost every kind of camera or recorder that was ever made. And all this stuff is stuff. And I'm hunting desperately to find a place to display it or preserve it that somebody else can enjoy it. Because I've only got a little bit of time to enjoy it. I'm 83 years old and I'm not going to be around too long. But if you guys can spread the news or help me in some way to contact someone. I do have a girl that works for me now 8 hours a week. Her father, well, her home is down in Point Pleasant, West Virginia. And they have a museum down there. It's called the Farm Museum, but they've got buildings, kind of different things. And they expressed they might be a little bit interested in it, but it's so far away. It's going to have to find a benefactor to move. That's why I'm here. I'm fishing. And if I can get some help.
The museum doesn't have any room for it, you don't think?
They don't have, it's 10.5 feet high.
Oh,
So it has to be a massive, I had built the basement in the house to accommodate it.
wow.
One cabinet is 17 feet long.
How many pieces are there?
There's like 10 pieces. One is a fountain. It was an ice cream fountain. It's got a 14-foot marble top and a mirror with
Wow.
Tiffany glass inserts and so on. I mean, well, before I bought the store, they had been offered $15,000 for it from Hollywood. And of course, I hold on to everything.
Wow.
But I'm willing to give it up just for somebody to move it out if they can find a place to put it. Like I said, I've contacted the people in Cumberland. Dee Dee, she took pictures of it and asked around, but nobody has the space or the personnel to maintain it. Frostburg said they got it, they couldn't man it because they would have put it in a separate room. They don't have enough people to take care of their museum now. So I'm getting kind of desperate. I'd like to do something with it. And if you guys can put me in touch with somebody or have an idea, welcome any help I can get.
Well, if you give Bethany your name and contact information, we'll put our heads together and see if we can come
Okay.
up with some suggestions.
You are welcome to come up. and
You
see
could,
it.
you say you do have pictures of it?
Mhm.
That you could send it to Bethany and that way she could,
I can send it out to
yeah, I could put it on her page if she wanted.
Right now it's all full, but it's bookcases more or less. I've got, must have 30 different Bibles. I've got a complete Funkin' Bibles and World Book. And I subscribe to the Smithsonian magazine for several years, and I've read all of it. I'm a pack rat. I never threw anything away in my life. I'll wear shoes out and save them. So that's why I came when it said history. And then I marched on my calendar and was sitting there with the calendar laying on the table, and I had to say which out like a light. I woke up 12 minutes to.
Got here in time.
So I made it. But I know most of you people, you younger folks, I've been around.
Yeah, so I'd like to see that. I think that would be neat. It would be neat to keep it together too.
Come up.
Mm.
I keep the door locked because I've got 3 lots and I'm all alone there. Like I said, I could be dead rotten and forgotten for a month before somebody would find me.
Well, let's hope not.
My kids, one lives in Seattle and the other just moved to North Carolina. And they have no interest in coming back here.
All right, well, we'll see what kind of suggestions we can come up with.
Yeah.
You have a business card or something I can?
I do, yes.
Okay, I'll get a
Yep.
little package.
As soon as we adjourn, I'll get that for you.
Okay, thank you.
All right,
Thank
thank
you.
you. All
Yeah, you
right.
could send it around to all of us so that we
Yes.
could take a look.
All right, if there is nothing further, do we have a motion to adjourn, or is there something I'm missing?
That's all I had.
All right,
I'll move we adjourn.
I'll second it.
You'll vote yes, I'll vote yes.
all right. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Our meeting is